editing, sound design, motion graphics, VFX, computer graphics, color correction, color grading. These are the most widely used and are the basic and essential terms in post-production. Those who are into film school come across these terms in a quite early stage of learning, but those who don't have access to film school due to some reason often ignore the importance of understanding these terms at their early stage of learning. Some of them start to learn some random software, which they have access to. Some software users consider 2 to 3 terms as a single one. For example, they consider editing, motion graphics and color grading are all one single term, since a single piece of software can do all of that. Understanding different terms plays a very critical role in selecting an individual's core skill in the future. And since all these terms are interconnected to each other, it's very essential to understand each of them, so that it helps in collaborating with the team while handling projects in the future. There are many more to consider other than discussed in this video, but for now, we will be discussing only the most important and most general terms. So let's understand it one by one. Number 1. Editing. Editing can be simply explained as building a story out of the raw footage that you have shot on camera. While shooting, lots of unwanted extra footage will be shot in your camera. It might be pre-rolling footage, post-rolling footage, or multiple takes of a single shot. It will not be shot in order most of the time, except for interviews and events. An editor takes all of that raw material, organizes it, and puts it together in a timeline, building a story out of it. He does so by choosing the best takes, trimming unwanted portions, and by adding dialogues and sound effects into the timeline. It is the editing table where the story can be made or the story can be broken. A good editor always makes the most out of his raw footage by precisely controlling the timing, mood, and pace of the storyline. Number 2. Sound design. Sound design, as the word says, designing sound elements for the video. It may be done so either by recording or mixing pre-recorded sounds, re-recording dialogue, background score, Foley, effects, and final mixing comes under this section. In most cases, the editor and sound designing team work hand in hand, because the importance of sound is as much as of the video itself, and this fact is very likely to be ignored by beginner filmmakers. Number 3. CGI, or computer graphics. The elements which cannot be shot in the real world are generated in the computer. These images are referred to as computer graphics. As seen in major Hollywood movies, dinosaurs, giant robots, or cinematic title intros, most of them are done using a computer. For decades, CGI has been proving its immense capabilities in enhancing the cinematic experience. Computer-generated animated movies also end up in this category. It's a very vast niche, and if interested, one can end up with a well-dressed career. Number 4. Visual effects or VFX. Visual effects are shortly known as VFX. It is very closely connected to computer graphics, but it's not only computer graphics by itself. When a live-action shot captured by a camera is manipulated by adding or removing elements with the help of analog or digital technology, then it is called VFX. Some of the key examples are replacing backgrounds, adding CG elements like robots, smoke, explosions, and fire, digital makeup, removing wires and safety rigs from the footage, to name a few. For the easy separation of foregrounds and backgrounds, actors are shot in front of a green screen or blue screen, which helps the computer to distinguish between foreground and background. This process is known as chroma keying. In the good old days, visual effects were done by using optical printers, where they work on multiple film strips and process it to get the desired effect. Nowadays, computers have replaced those optical printers. Number 5. Color correction and grading. Most of the time, the clip shot on camera contains errors in exposure levels, white balance, and color tone. So they are corrected later in post. The process of adjusting those imbalances is called color correction. Then, the colors of the corrected footage is manipulated according to the mood and intensity of the scene. This stage is called color grading. You can notice a warm tone while showing intense scenes, and a cool bluish tone in quiet, romantic kinds of scenes. Anyhow, there are no hard-bound rules in grading. It depends completely on the vision of the creator. Both color correcting and color grading are treated as a single niche most of the time. And in small projects, an editor himself does the color correction and grading. Now you can have a clear idea about the terms that exist in post-production. We hope you can now progress with your skills in the right direction. If you like the content we provide, make sure to like, subscribe, and share our video in your community. This is Known Digital. Thank you for watching.